Okay, I get it. You might not agree with this statement at this point. You will eventually, if you commit to it. The cold is your friend. Believe me, it really is. And there are many reasons why the cold is your friend, and I'm going to tell you those reasons right now, especially in the context of this program in particular, because there's lots of physiological benefits. And let's face it, actually, if you improve your physiology, you improve your psychology as well. As you begin to feel better, as you move better, you improve your psychology. But let's talk about the real psychological gains of the cold therapy and the reason why it's in this program. There are now studies to indicate, first of all, that cold is very good for those that suffer from depression. And that's because it stimulates something called the blue spot. Now I'm pointing actually to a spot that I don't even know whether that's the right spot where the blue spot is. But let's just think about what that blue spot is, if only for something that releases noradrenaline. An increase in noradrenaline actually is shown to reduce the levels of depression. So that is a very good reason to do cold therapy. Interestingly, actually, when you step into a cold shower, know this: if you get your head under there, it stimulates the blood-brain barrier. That blood-brain barrier is the bit that helps to prevent toxicity from other things that could harm your brain. So it is good just to stimulate this. Also, you are deliberately causing yourself a stress response. Now, if you don't know this already, and I urge you to look at the studies done by Sean Aker out of Harvard, stress, despite what you might think, is actually good for you. In fact, all forms of stress are very good for you. It's only when you experience chronic stress, in other words, long-term stress, that it then becomes chronic. So small doses of stress are very good for both brain and body because they cause an adaptation response. You have to change in order to cope with that experience. So you have a short bout of stress, your body goes, okay, that was pretty tough, I better strengthen. Could be strengthen your muscles, could be strengthen your resolve, your willpower. Whatever it is strengthening you because it knows that it's probably going to happen again and it wants to be better prepared for when it does happen. So that's another really good reason. Cause yourself stress. Find things that create small doses of stress. That's the key thing here. Short bursts of stress, which is why the cold shower is amazing. You know, you go in there for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. It's just a short period of time in a long day. That short bout of stress is going to do you a huge amount of good. And that is just the psychological gains. You know, as you keep doing cold showers, this is what I found. In the early days, if you followed me on YouTube before, those early days, you are fighting the urge to not do it. You will experience this. You will have thoughts in the morning where you will say to yourself, I don't feel like it today. Maybe I'll, skip today. And I urge you to fight back with those thoughts, because all it is just that, again, these responses that we get, it's just your body and brain trying to keep you from harm. Your body hasn't, at this point, if you're new to cold therapy, it hasn't recognized the benefits. It hasn't associated the benefits. Because what happens is you have a cold shower. Afterwards, you feel amazing. But you need to do this on a regular basis for the brain to go, oh yeah, that's actually quite a good thing. I enjoyed that feeling afterwards. In a way, that's probably the way I deal with life. I have this kind of internal dialogue with my little friend and all the other friends that are in there that are there to keep me from harm. I quite often have this open, conversation with them. No, you're wrong there, I'm afraid. I get why you're saying it. That's a good way of looking at it, actually. When you have these responses, you can say to yourself, I understand why you're saying that. I understand why you're telling me that. But in this instance, you're wrong. And I am going to continue doing this. I am going to push forward. I am going to have that conversation with that person. So these benefits around the cold are all psychological gains. You build this discipline and you will see that discipline reflect in other areas of your life. Now, actually, the physiological benefits, if we list them, they increase white blood cells. So that's going to improve your immune response, your immunity. They also help to encourage, cold showers help to encourage the activation of your brown fat. Think of brown fat as the good fat in your body. It's the stuff that you want to encourage. White fat, bad fat, brown fat, good fat. And by activating brown fat, which incidentally is something that you're full of when you're a child, by activating that brown fat, it burns white fat for fuel. So it helps you to lose weight. Now you don't want to do it for that reason, but it does. Activate the brown fat that burns your white fat for fuel. So another really good reason. Remember, as you begin to feel physically better, you have a psychological reaction to it. I feel good, I feel strong, I feel powerful. You're saying those messages to your brain. Your brain's going, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah, you're right, I do feel good. So a lot of these techniques are in a way hacking the brain. It's just rewiring, and we're going to talk about this later on in the program. Just a couple of other physiological changes, one related to stress actually, or two. It increases your metabolic rate, and that is a good thing. And lastly, cold therapy reduces the level of uric acid in your blood, but boosts the levels of glutathione. Now, both of those combined show a reduction in stress, or your ability to deal with stress. We're going to talk about this in another subject, in another video. I hope those reasons are encouraging you to stick with the cold. I highly recommend it. See you on the next one.